Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, when Kenya Kwanza administration came to power, in their first finance bill, they increased close to everything. In fact, it was a double digits. Uhuru Kenyatta left the government when the finance bill was at 8%. But when Ruto took over, he increased by double digits from 8% to 16%, close to everything. So, majority of Kenyans believe that any other time there will be any proposal to do with the taxes, at least it will be reduction. They will be reducing slowly. But that is not happening. The opposite is what is taking place here. This government is thinking on how to increase more taxes. They're even moving from 16 to 20% and going forward. There are some items that had been left out. They are now coming for those items. So, as we're speaking now, the Treasury is proposing new taxes, which is actually increase from the pain we have been going through to more pain going forward. Hapo ndo tumefika under William Samoei Ruto. So if you thought there will be some kind of relief, even in times of flood and hardship, they are thinking on how to increase taxes. They are coming for the last coin in your pocket. And if you check in the news, it's all over. Kenyans set to pay more for phone calls and the internet as Finance Bill 2024 proposes a hike in excise duty from 15% to 20%. They're now increasing it with 5%, 15 to 20. Now, when I look at this statement, then you do a comparison with what Ruto told us during campaign. There is something he said about making phone calls. And this was William Ruto. If I quote him, this time he was a deputy president, but campaigning as a presidential candidate. This is what he said. You will no longer require airtime bundles. Phone call will be free in my government. I don't know the meaning of free going by what his treasury is proposing. Phone calls will be free. By that time, Kenyans used to buy bundles because when you have bundles, at least the calls will be somehow cheap because you will just use WhatsApp and the Messenger and all those other apps as long as you have bundles, rather than using the airtime direct when you buy. For him, he said, you will not need all these things that you are buying bundles to make phone calls. For him, phone calls will be free under his administration. So, where is free? What is the meaning of free? I don't understand. That is William Ruto for you. He's starting on other item, bread. Price of bread set to rise by 10 shillings as government proposed 16% VAT in the Finance Bill 2024. So, the preparation for the Finance Bill is taking place now. The other time, we protested, there was demonstration, but they never listened to anyone. Raila is now busy with the AU and other things. It is time for you and me to now lead this protest. That time they never had anything. Though there are some few items they had left out. But now they are bringing in something like bread. Imagine increasing bread price by 10 shillings. This is so punitive. Even Uhuru Kenyatta, when he wanted to increase anything on basic things, he would do it with 2 shillings or 1 shilling. This one they are doing with 10 shillings. But one question, will Ruto really get these taxes? Remember when he increased the price of fuel, people resorted to gas. Many vehicles were installed with the gas system. So, the time they will use fuel, the time they will be using gas. Kuna wakati wanaachilia petrol, kuna masaa wanaachilia gas. To manage. And that explains how Ruto lost on the, the target he had on gaining much money through fuel. He lost. So Kenyans have a way of surviving. And that was one of the ways. He never hit his target. Now, he's coming for bread. Will he really make money out of this bread? And by the way, value-added tax is losing the meaning. VAT is losing meaning in Kenya. Which value did this government added in this bread for them to tax what they are asking for? Which value have they added? Which value? VAT is losing the meaning. People are going to resort to other foods. Tutaanza kula ndizi huko kama breakfast, tutaanza kula viazi na mambo mengine. We will not eat this bread. So if you are targeting to get money from bread, you will not get it. People will survive through other means. That one I can tell him. So no matter how he's focusing to get money, he will lose his targets. Another one here, finance bill. Cost of financial services such as issuance of credits and debit cards, forex transaction, and proposing of check to attract 16% VAT. Hapo ndio tumefika. Exercise duty on fees for mobile money transfer services like M-Pesa and money transfer charges in banks, circles to rise from 15 to 20%. Kila kitu sasa tuna move from 16 to 20. So, the other time we were crying about 16%. We are heading to 20% because in most proposals they are moving to 20%. Sijui tutaambia Wakenya ni wakati wa kukaza mkamba ama ni tutasema aje. But now, that is where we are heading to. We are literally moving from 16% to 20%. Sasa, watu wataanza kurudisha mambo ya kuweka pesa kwa godoro. Wataweka pesa kwa mattress. Huko ndo sasa tunarudi. Because now, all these fees, you're moving money from here, they're increasing the fees of transaction. Watu wataanza kurudi kwa mambo ya solid cash. Hata tumekuwa tukinunua vitu tukitumia simu and all those things. He might not get his target because people are not going to resort back to old ways. There is already financial constraint in this country. But the focus is to take the last coin from you. Hapo ndio tumefika. Kenyans to pay up to 100,000 yearly in motor vehicle tax in the finance bill 2024. The tax will be at the rate of 2.5% of the value of the car with a minimum of 5,000 Kenyan shillings. 2024 is a year for increase of taxes from 16 to 20 and above. Walituambia it is time for hustler to grow. And how was hustler going to grow? That if you are a boda rider, you are going to buy a taxi. That if you've been owning a taxi, you're going to buy, a 14-seat and above. If you have been having a 14-seater, it is time for you to buy now a bus. Hiyo ni ya 26, 74 na kuendelea. That's what they told us. That if you have been owning a bicycle, you are going to buy a motorbike. Sasa vile unaongeza mambo ya ushuru kwa kiwango hiki, when will the bodaboda rider afford to buy a taxi? They cannot. It was a huge lie. Watu wa pombe mmefikiwa. Vodka, whiskey, prices to rise as Treasury proposed to increase excise duty on a liter of spirits from 267.32 to between 592 Kenyan shillings and 720, depending on alcohol content of between 37% and 45%. Hapo ndio mambo yametufikisha. Everything is going to go high. Watu pia watapunguza matumizi ya pombe, hiyo ndio ukweli. We can do without alcohol. So in all this, we are seeing a government that is saying that kama mlikuwa mnaona ya kwamba mmewekewa mzigo mkubwa in the previous finance, leo hii tutaongeza hiyo mzigo ukue double. That's what Ruto is telling us. That if you think I had inflicted more pain to you, I am going to inflict more pain than what you thought it was so huge for you. That is William Ruto. Completely opposite of what he had told us during the campaign.